Hey guys, welcome. Long time no see. It is Bold TV. It's the real Bold TV. Anyway, guys, just here for another storytelling. Oh my God, I don't know if you're ready for this. Anyways, this story is about two siblings that got married to each other. They didn't know they were siblings, and then after they found out that they were siblings, they still refused to divorce. Anyways, you be the judge at the end of the video to determine whether they did the right thing or they're just being stubborn. Let's get to it, guys. Anyways, this is a true story that happened in this particular village. So there was this girl that there's this lady that's living in this particular village. She only had one daughter, okay? And then when her spouse, got sick and was not able to make it, the spouse passed away. So she was the one taking care of her daughter. But then because she has been sick, she's been having like high blood pressure, all kind of sickness. And then the daughter decided to drop out of school because the mom could not afford to pay for her school. So she went to the city to look for a job, I guess just menial job that she can use the money to help her mom, right? So now, when she got to the city, she found out that, she was pregnant and whatnot. So of course, she came back home, and then she told the mom that, you know what, she just found out that she's pregnant, but she doesn't want to tell her boss, because if the boss knows that she's pregnant, she's gonna lose her job, and the boss was really paying her well. And then the mom said, you know what, just take a leave, tell your boss that, I'm sick, you're going to be taking some time off, and once you deliver, we'll give the children up, we'll give the child up. So she said okay. So she went back to the city and stayed there for I think up to 4 or 5 months before the pregnancy was actually showing. And then she told her boss that, you know what, she need to go back to the village because her mom is really sick. The boss agreed, and then obviously she went back to the village. And then when she went back to the village, of course they went to the doctors and all that. They found out that she was having twins, a boy and a girl. And then obviously the mom told the doctor, please, we need to put these kids up for adoption. And then the doctor said, are you sure you want to put both of them? He's like, you know what, I'm going to give one to a relative like who's out of town, and then maybe they can just put the boy up for adoption. And the doctor was like, fine. So of course, and once the girl delivers, they put the boy up for adoption, and then she gave the daughter to one of her friends that was living out of town, and she was more than happy to take care of the baby girl. And then the girl went back to the city like nothing happened. Of course, she continued to work and all that stuff, and the daughter, the friend was really nice, so the daughter kept visiting. And then she didn't know that the woman she's visiting was actually her grandma, but she thought that she was just visiting a family friend with this lady that brought her up, and she was calling the lady mom because she thought that is her biological mom. So she kept visiting and all that. Sometimes she would stay after school days and all that stuff. And then of course when she was about to go to college, and then the mom came and told the ladies like, you know what, this girl is now going to college, and I'm gonna send her. She got a scholarship to go to Finland. So the mom is like, oh, the grandma was like, wow, that is really nice, and really thank you for taking care of your daughter, my grandchild. She said, no problem. And then of course that friend, the grandma's friend, was also telling this girl, she's my friend, make sure you are visiting after you finish school, please make sure you're taking care of her, this is your grandma and all that. And the girl actually was more than happy, and this woman really loved her. And of course sometimes when the daughter leaves the city to come for holiday, she also meets the girl, and the girl doesn't know that that is her mom. She just thought that, you know, it's the grandma's, you know, daughter and stuff. So anyways, so life continues. And then by fluke, she did really well in her school, of course, and as I said, she was able to get to Finland for her scholarship. Now, on the other part of the world, that boy was adopted. He was adopted by a very influential politician in the country. And then of course, he was also, of course, he was smart. He also got scholarship to go to Finland. However, not 100% scholarship, but part of, you know, the dues was paid for by the, you know, by the government, right? So just give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. So welcome, guys. Welcome back, guys. So anyways, as I was saying, so the girl got a scholarship to go to Finland, and then of course she got ready and, you know, left. Holy cow. So anyways, guys, as I was saying, the girl got a scholarship. Why don't we give her a name? Let's give her a name and let's call her Elena. Okay, so Elena got the scholarship to go to Finland, and then of course everybody was happy. They made the family made a farewell party for her and all that. So she left for Finland. And then at the other part of the world is this boy that was also put for adoption. Let's call him Joseph. So Joseph was also put up for adoption. Joseph is, you know, being brought up by this prominent politician, and Joseph also got a scholarship. He was one of the best students in his school. He also got a scholarship to go to Finland, but not really 100% because his dad was wealthy. He actually was planning to go and stay in Finland for some time, and of course, the family can afford it, right? So anyways, so Joseph also went to Finland, and then of course, so both kids are now in Finland, Elena and Joseph, pursuing their education and all that stuff. And then long story short, they ended up meeting each other because at the time, and that was back in the 70s, at the time there was not a lot of colored people, so like black people in Finland, so it is very noticeable. So obviously when they saw each other and they're like, oh, yeah, excited, oh, where are you from and where are you from? And then of course they met, they became friends, or just chatting. And then after a few years, by the time they graduated, one thing led to another, they started dating. And then of course when she graduated, she called her mom, the girl Elena called the mom that brought her up, and also called the grandma. Hey, I've graduated, I'll be coming home soon, and by the way, I met someone, his name is Joseph. We went to school together. He's really a nice guy. But Joseph, apparently Joseph was in Finland before her, right? So basically Joseph graduated before her. Joseph started working, and with the dad's connection, he was doing well. And then they decided that they wanted to, you know, get married. And then they wanted to do the marriage before they came back home, they returned to Africa. And then obviously, but Joseph's parents like have no issue, you know, go ahead. If the girl is in Finland, obviously she's from a good family, you guys can go ahead. They are very open-minded family. And the girl's family is like, are you sure, is that what you want to do, blah blah blah. And she said yes, because the most important thing is that she's also, you know, pregnant. So they were like, you know what, fine, you guys go ahead and do your marriage, but then when you come back home, we will have a proper wedding. And they say, yeah, that's fine. So they did that so that, you know, they can also fix their, you know, their documents, their finished documents. That way they can return back to the country. So obviously they did that, and apparently back in the day it was not too difficult to get, you know, finished papers and all that stuff. So anyways, so once they did that, they came back, and before they came back, the girl had her baby. She had a daughter. So then of course, then they planned to come back, and then when they came back, Joseph first of all went to his parents' home, and the girl went to the mom that brought her home. And then after staying there for some days, then they came to the grandma to come and visit, and came with the daughter. So they are so happy, and they're like, oh, you know what, you need to invite Joseph, we need to meet him and all that stuff. And then of course, they made a plan for them to meet, and Joseph came and his family. And then when Joseph got there with his family, Grandma saw us like, what? This Joseph's mom looks familiar. Where did I see this woman? But she cannot put two and two together. And then she started thinking, and then she went through her documents. She went back inside and went through the documents, the adoption documents. And then she saw the name. She's like, this name rings a bell. And then she saw the name in the documents, like, are you sure this is not the woman that adopted this girl, this boy? And then of course, then the grandma came out and started speaking with the mom. And so your name is so and so. That's yes. Oh, and your child was born in so and so. It's like, yeah. And then she was honest. She's like, you know, I have other children, but we adopted Joseph from this particular, I think it's their family doctor told us about Joseph's story. The mom is young, the mom could not take care of Joseph, and we decided to adopt him. Grandma fainted. Grandma fainted. Everybody's like, what happened? So now everybody's rushing, trying to call a doctor and blah blah blah. And then grandma in that state of faint, as she was trying to recover, she kept saying, this marriage cannot stand, these children cannot get married, these children cannot get married, these children. But anyway, she kept saying that, but they just thought that maybe, you know, she's just shocked or whatnot. So grandma was taken to the hospital. Grandma ended up staying in the hospital for up to 3 months. So when this grandma got better, they brought her home. So everybody was worried. Elena came again with the daughter, with that the mom that brought her up. And then Joseph was just in the hospital, man. Joseph didn't want to leave. And you know that Joseph started doctorate in Finland. So he's surgical doctor. He did a surgical doctor basically. So he was understanding all the terminology the doctors were talking about in the hospital. So when grandma got better, grandma told them that we need to have a meeting. And she need to have the meeting because just in case something happened to her, she doesn't want this secret to weigh on her. And then it was like, what secret? So anyways, Joseph made an appointment, and of course Joseph brought this time dad came, but the previous visit Joseph's dad did not come. So this second visit Joseph's dad came, the mom and his other siblings, and of course Elena came with the other mom. So everybody came. They were all at this grandma's house for this particular meeting that the grandma wanted. So grandma started telling them the whole story, and the daughter was also there. And then telling them that you know, they were going through hard time. Her daughter got pregnant with twins, and because the daughter had a really good job in the city, she didn't want to lose the job, and she's been sickly, and she relied on the daughter's salary. So what they decided is to give away one of the children, the female children, and the boy was put into adoption. And the boy, and then people are like, oh wow, what a strong story. So where are the children now? And then grandma said, well, the daughter is Elena and the boy is Joseph. The reason she kept saying that the marriage cannot stand is because they are siblings, and because they are siblings, they cannot get married. So they met in Finland without knowing that they were siblings. But now that they know they are siblings, now that I'm telling them they are siblings, they need to divorce, and they need to, basically, the marriage need to cease. And Joseph is like, nope. Elena is like, nope, we are not, blah, 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 we are not. We are not divorcing, we are not. Yeah. So they kept begging them, they kept talking to them. They tried everything. Elena was like, nope. Joseph was like, nope, that is not our issue. You guys, you kept the secret created a situation, and we are in this particular situation. But they said, nope. If down the road things happen and they ended up separating, that's fine. But they are not, you know. And then they just got upset. They're like, no, they are leaving. So just Joseph and Elena left. So this thing caused like a commotion, the whole drama in the village. And then of course this news got out, of course, and then of course politicians started to drag Joseph's dad. So it was such a drama, a whole roller coaster of drama. But anyways, as we speak, Joseph and Elena are still together, and they are still in Finland. And apparently they had, I think now they have four kids, like 3 girls and 1 boy. Yeah. And they refuse to come back. They refuse to come back. And they don't want to deal with anybody. So they said their family is them. Their family is them and their children. So yeah, guys, this is the story. So what do you think? Do you support Elena and Joseph, or are they overdoing this thing? Anyways, guys, this is the story for today, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.